Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be my first video, or my first attempt of making a cooking video. Something I've kind of always wanted to do, but never really had the space to do it in. But I thought, now I've got this kind of big kitchen to myself, I'd give it a go. So what we're going to do today is a classic marinara or a tomato sauce for pasta dishes, such as spaghetti, lasagna, baked pasta, anything you can kind of think of, really. So yeah, wish me luck. So the basic ingredients for this sauce, really simple. It's just tomatoes, onion, garlic, some dried herbs. We got rosemary, oregano, parsley, basil, and obviously salt and pepper. I'm gonna just heat the pan. I put the pan on to heat, so good glug of olive oil. And what I like to do, I like to coat the bottom of the pan in the olive oil. And what I'll do is I will just put that on a low heat, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to fry the onions. I just want them to basically soak up the flavour and sort of poach, if you like, rather than fry. Wooden spoon. And of course, you can't have a tomato sauce without tomato. So what I've just got is 2 tins of chopped tomatoes and some tomato passata, and that's it really. And if you really wanted to, you could add some tomato puree as well. But into the pan, I'm going to put my garlic, slight sizzle there, so I'm just going to turn that heat right down, and then I'll add the onions. And what I'll do is I'll slowly cook the onions to get all of those natural sugars out of the onion, and really get those flavours through. Just add a small pinch of salt, and then I should just gently cook that until the onions become translucent, and then I'll add the rest of the ingredients. So the onions have had some time to soften and cook through. If I just bring the camera just here, you'll be able to kind of see there you go. Just a kind of soft and almost got like that brown kind of caramelized tinge to them, but without them actually caramelizing. What I'm going to do now is add some butter. This will just give it a bit of extra richness, and this will just add to the flavour of the sauce. What I'll do is I'll just let that melt down as well, and that will taste absolutely divine when everything else has been added to the sauce. Now there's no real kind of measurements to this recipe. It's all, a lot of it is done on guesswork. You know, a pinch of this, a dash of that. You know, it's not science at the end of the day. it's cooking, and I've always believed that when you cook, it's an experiment, and you've just got to do what you think will work. And if it works, it works. That's great. If it doesn't, well, it's no real hardship if it doesn't work out. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, especially if you've wasted money on ingredients. But generally, you know, this type of cooking, this is like proper home cooking. So you know, there's not really any great science to it. It's just a case of putting things in a pan and seeing if they taste good. And I've been cooking this sauce now for years. I usually do it with spaghetti and meatballs, which is probably what we'll have for tomorrow's dinner. I've got my sister, my nieces and nephews, and my mum coming over for dinner tomorrow. So hence the reason why I'm doing this, because a good sauce takes preparation, and if you leave it overnight to let the flavours mellow, it tastes 100% better. So that's why I'm doing it today and not tomorrow. Plus the fact I've got to go to work tomorrow, and I won't have time to get home to do this and get everything ready by the time they come over. So anyway, so the butter has melted, the onions and the garlic are coming along quite nicely. There's some really lovely smells coming from this pan at the moment. I'm now going to add the tomatoes. These are just simple chopped tomatoes, nothing too fancy. Just put them in there. And what I always do, swish the tin around with some water, and it gets all those juices from the bottom of the can. I'll also add my tomato passata as well. And again, this is just a really plain, simple soup tomato. Nothing fancy about it. So put that in there. Again, a little bit of a washout, get all those juices from the carton. Don't like to waste anything if we can help it. And a good thing about a sauce like this as well is it will freeze. So you know, you can keep it for a few days afterwards anyway, out of a freezer. You know, 3-4 days in the fridge will probably be fine. But if you wanted to freeze it, then that would be good too. Another can of tomatoes going in. Tomato juice on my shirt, which isn't good. And what I'll also do as well is add some tomato puree into the mix. I'll just let those cook out. Bring that to the boil, then reduce it to a simmer, and then I'll add the herbs and the spices. So the sauce has come up to a boil. I've just reduced it now to a gentle simmer. So we're ready to add the herbs and the spices. Well, I say spices, but different herbs. So we're going to start with salt. Can't really cook anything without salt. Pepper, plenty of cracked black pepper. And then we're going to add our rosemary. Now, don't overdo the rosemary, because the one thing that rosemary does, it tends to give a soapy flavour. Oh, it's basil. If you use too much of it, and you don't want your spaghetti sauce tasting of soap. unless you really like soap. Oregano, and again, that's quite a strong and pungent herb, so use a little bit, taste, and then add if you want more. Parsley, and in all that goes. Just give that a good mix. And the final ingredient to the sauce, a glass of red. And that is that. Bring the camera, and that is the sauce at the moment. And trust me, in about an hour or so's time, when all this has had time to cook through and then mellow, this will make a really fantastic sauce. I will link all the ingredients in the description below. I'll also upload the recipe onto my blog site, foodreviewuk.net. So yeah, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.